Hello, everybody. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. This is an area road and a radar update. We're going to talk about conditions and how things are going to be changing as we head toward your drive time coming up here in just one moment. But look at this. This is the Montana border. Snow is accumulating there on I-94. Details are coming up right now.
Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, so once again, we do have some wild weather across the region. As we take a look at the latest with regards to the radar, we'll get you started with that. Here is what it looks like as we take a look across the region. Do you see this blue box highlighted in and around the Billings, Montana area? A dash of heavier snow making its way in there. We're going to get to that. Snowfall has moved up into parts of Saskatchewan right now, out towards Winnipeg, and roads are completely covered in portions of Saskatchewan, north of Montana into Regina. As we take a look at the Fargo area, we're seeing some activity on the radar. And a little mixed precipitation, as we talked about, down near Sioux Falls, with Minnesota showing some as well. Here is a look at what we have going on with regards to the systems making its way into the FM area and the Fargo area in eastern North Dakota. And as we zoom in just a little bit closer, you're going to see this is all moving off to the east as it's working its way in. Not all of this is reaching the ground, as a matter of fact, as we'll show you here momentarily on DOT cameras. But we could see a dash of snow briefly as this works its way through, and it's cold enough for snow as well. A look out towards Montana. Northeast Montana, it doesn't look like we have a lot of heavy snow here, but I do want to point out that this is quite a ways away from the radar site out there in Glasgow, Montana, and that does make a little bit of a difference when it comes to that. Now, as we take you into the Billings area, here's what's coming in. Out near Roundup and Big Timber, moving right along the interstate, heading into Billings now is a batch of briefly heavy snow with some wind that will be making its way through as well. So as we look across the greater region, gusts of wind have exceeded 60 miles per hour. This is almost a 70 mile per hour wind report right there, magnitude 68. This was in Platte, Wyoming, in Platte County near Sibley Peak. Wow, unbelievable wind gusts in these areas. 61 mile per hour gust reported in Carbon County out there at the Muddy Gap. And as we take a look, a lot of rain and whatnot reported in the mountains of California. We'll get to much more on the national picture, but now let's take a look at what we have going on in our neck of the woods here in the Northern Plains. So here it is as we pardon me, I pushed the wrong button. Let's go ahead and take a look at one thing. Number one, hutchesweather.com is your resource for information when it comes to your weather information at your fingertips. I've tried my best to make sure you have all the information you need. Now, up here at the road conditions tab, that's where I want you to push. If you click on that road conditions tab, I've got all of our regional states and provinces from Canada included in the area. We'll start with North Dakota and Montana and take a look around. The purple you see on the North Dakota, well, if you look at the key for this, it shows that we generally will have some snow-covered roads in that area. As we take a look at the camera, that's exactly what we're seeing as we get up in that Crosby zone. Not just a little snow, folks, it's covered the roads completely. The good news is the heavy snowfall has receded just a little bit, but you can see the tracks there. This is near Fortuna on US 85 in northwest North Dakota. Now we go down toward the oil patch on Highway 2. This is Highway 2 near Ray, and we definitely see that snow has hit the area. Pillow drifts aplenty out there, but travelable. You want to give yourself some extra time. Down near Watford City, the yellow indicates completely covered roads. That could be completely covered with snow, or in this case, some ice taking place out there. Not from freezing rain, just icy road conditions. So watch your speed as you're going through that particular area of North Dakota. Now you get on Interstate 94, you get out towards the Medora area, Sentinel Butte, and we definitely have some covered roads on Interstate 94 as well at this time. Montana, let's take a look and see what's going on for our neighbors out in the Big Sky country as we switch this on over. Now we do have a critical incident taking place just south of the Wolf Point area. I believe that was a semi when I looked a little bit earlier. Up near Plentywood last night, the snow and the wind looked mighty bad, and it still looks pretty treacherous out there on area roads in northeasternmost Montana. You get across the border on I-94, just like we showed you in that Sentinel Butte area of North Dakota. As you're heading through Webo, this area of Montana has completely covered interstate out there on I-94. So travelers beware. You can share this information with travelers as well. So we'll switch that off. Now we're going to look at latest watches, warnings, and advisories from the National Weather Service and across the nation, where you see the purple boxes here in North Dakota. That is a winter weather advisory. So we'll have some wintry weather making its way through our neck of the woods in our region as we go through tonight. So keep that in mind as you're traveling tonight. You're going to have some wind and some snow. The snowfall amount is not going to be too awful terrible here, but we could see some more impactful snow, I believe, on the Minnesota side of the river, and winter storm warnings in northeast Montana showing up there, as well as some cold weather advisories in northwest North Dakota. That's the light blue that you see there. So that's a check at the latest watches and warnings for the region and nation. Now let's go ahead and focus on our neck of the woods. We'll zoom in to North Dakota, and we'll talk about the winter weather advisory in and around the state of North Dakota. So it does include most of northern Minnesota as well. And that winter weather advisory is essentially for bands of snow that will be developing today. Weather Service is calling for 1 to 3 inches in some areas, but I do think we'll see as many as 5 or 6 inches in isolated spots in parts of northern Minnesota as this system trucks its way through. More on that in just a second. Pivotal weather, let's take a look at the forecast. Here's a look at the timing of this system as it works its way through. This is a look at the American model, but let me see if I can pop up just a little bit of a look here with regards to a more high resolution view of this. We're going to look at an hourly updated high resolution forecast model. And here we go. As we set this into motion, let me go ahead and zoom into the northern plains too. So pardon my eyeballs while I get this situated on our area. Okay, so as we go into the afternoon, this model is showing our scattered showers of snow that will be developing as we go towards our dinner hour. Now, as we get into the dinner hour, you see the dark blues here. This is what's heading our way. So I do believe this particular model, called the HRRR, for those of you who are paying attention, does have a pretty good grasp on this storm systems. Drive safe, everyone, says Karen. Kathy, thank you for watching. Nancy as well, thanks for watching. Marion, I do want to let you know too, if you have an interest in the national weather, I'll be posting a video on my YouTube channel only that goes over more of a national look at this system. The low pressure center will skirt its way through South Dakota. It is pulling up some warmer air, so that mixed precipitation is going to be a possibility across South Dakota, but it's not widespread. Here's where things set up shop as we go into the late night hours. As we approach 10 o'clock, we'll have snow showers from the valley into the northern half of Minnesota, and those will persist during the overnight hours. Then the wind picks up. So while the system is moving through, the isobars are fairly far apart. We don't have the wind problem, but by daybreak, it's going to really start ripping out of the northwest. Very cold air will be sucking its way in out of parts of Saskatchewan right into the Dakotas as we go through the day. It'll be blustery, and those winds will buffet area roads and keep things a little on the icy side as we go through. So please keep that in mind as well as we make our way through. And point out, too, a couple of other features on hutchesweather.com that I'd love to have you help out with as we go through. Let me see if I can get back to the page here. One moment. Let me see. I might have to go over here. Let's go here. So on hutchesweather.com, a couple of things to keep in mind. You can look at snow reports and snow amounts right here on the page, as well as get your latest interactive radar that, by the way, you can zoom into your neck of the woods. Right down to the level that you need to see what's going on, as well as upload your viewer reports right here. Viewer pictures help us know what's going on across the area. So as you measure snow, whether it's later tonight or tomorrow morning, I'd love to have you upload your photos to hutchesweather.com. So again, a look at our area roads. We do have some tricky travel across portions of Montana, from northeast Montana right through the central part of the state. Winter storm warnings continue there. Winter weather advisories through the northern half of North Dakota for this evening. Increasing risk of snow showers as we go through. How much snow, you say? Let's go ahead and take a look at that forecast as we go through. Here we go. Now, as this system works its way through, the models have been pretty persistent. There'll be a couple of bands of some heavier snow working its way through this system, and some could see 2 to 5 inches of snow. Isolated places could see a little bit more. The best chance for the more healthy amounts of snow will be in and along the Minnesota side of the Red River. So as we go through the overnight hours, Fargo and Grand Forks both more likely to see 1 to 2 inches of snow. But as you get just east of there, that chance of heavier snow will ramp up. This is not going to be a crippling snowstorm, but when the wind comes through on Thursday, all day will be a little bit on the challenging. Thanks, Jeraine, for your compliments. I really do appreciate it. Rich, thank you so much. And we'll be using a look at another new tool on hutchesweather.com as well. As we go through, I do want to point out here that I have a lot of fine sponsors that have helped Hutch make hutchesweather.com a possibility. So please keep these sponsors in mind. If you scroll down to the bottom of the page, however, we've added a new one here for you. And this one will be very handy as you're deciding what you want to do when it comes to driving across Minnesota. This is called the NTR, the Northern Transcon Railroad Otter Tail Channel. So it's not just Otter Tail County, it's across Minnesota. So if you click on this puppy, it's going to show you live, not recorded, not snapshots, live video feeds from different rail yards or areas near rail stations across the state of Minnesota, including Moorhead, including you folks in Perham, as well as you folks out to the eastern part of the state. Duluth is also covered. So keep this in mind as if you want to take a front row seat view of what's going on across the region right now. We can take a look in and around the FM area right now by looking at their, well, this one's kind of fun because it pulls up all 16 channels, and you can take a peek at what's going on with regards to a regional view. There's Moorhead. We do have some gray skies here as we look on in towards Detroit Lakes and Perham on the top line. We do see some gray skies there, but not a lot of snow falling as of yet. Then looking through the rest of the state here, we get the picture that it's graying up. Not heavy snow at any location yet, but by the time we get to the overnight hours in the morning, we'll have an opportunity to see more of just that. All right, that's a look at your weather, an update for you. Remember, check out my latest update for the nation as we take a closer look at what's going into Billings right now and across the United States, as well as a more national forecast as the storm system moving through our area is really going to blossom into more potent storm system as it moves through the Great Lakes and beyond. I'll have details on all of that coming up on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link to it once it's recorded on this feed as well. Have a wonderful afternoon. Drive safe on your trip home from work, and I'll have an update to your forecast